Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Morning.
Daddy.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Right. Let's kick it off, guys. On this beautiful Saturday morning, I know you guys had a session on a Thursday. I hope most of you were able to attend to just be able to navigate through our systems and just some of the things that you need to do through the program. I guess this morning we are kicking off officially the program, the APC Comprehensive course. So this is the foundation phase of the program, the voluntary phase, which is really, really important for some of us to make sure that when we get to end of March, we are already seasoned APC candidates and we know what is expected of us. We know how to do everything. So we're going to show them flames when they join us on the 29th of March. So if some of the candidates that you chat to, your peers, are saying to you, they will only join in March, do tell them that by that time when they join, you will be miles ahead of them, and encourage everyone to join already. Okay, so yeah, I'm really excited. It's going to be a very nice, relaxed session where we unpack some of the foundational concepts of APC. We'll be picking up some of the foundational concepts of APC just so that you guys can know the various terminologies that are being used in APC. Okay, so firstly, I'm going to ask you in the chat, okay? In the chat, I'm going to ask you, I thought I would do a poll, but I don't have to do a poll. I'm going to ask you a question. Messaging you being part of. Okay, there's the question, and then you just like one of the two. Okay, so like the one that is relevant to you. Have you been part of the professional program before? Like the one that is most relevant to you. Okay, just so that I can get a sense of my audience this morning. All right, then in terms of the agenda, sorry, I've got a hand. Maybe before I get through the agenda, go for it.
Thank you for it.
Bevan?
Go
for it.
I don't see where you've posted it. Is it on the chat? You post?
Yes, in the chat.
Hmm.
Can you see my chat?
I don't see it, to be honest with you.
Maybe exit and come back. Let's see.
Oh, you mean exit the class?
Yes, exit the class and come back. Let's see if it works. Monica?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Sorry, any professional program, or you mean this one? Oh, okay.
No. Have you been in a part of any professional program before? It doesn't have to be Endunamo or any other. So I just want to know the really fresh candidates and some that have that know something about the professional program? Thank you for that. Maybe I should have been saying any. Let me edit my question to say, have you been part of any of the professional programs before? Okay, thank you, Monica. Cool. Brian, I see you liked the wrong message. Maybe like the yes or the no and remove the like from the question. All right. So like I said, this morning, I'm going to take you through various things, but in a very chilled environment. Bevan, you still can't see the chat. I see your hand is up.
Apologies, Ferdy. I was actually going to the chat, but I still can't see it, but leave it for now. I don't know. I'll
Okay.
try and sort it out later.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Great. So what does the agenda entail? We're going to talk about the people that will be supporting you on the Indunamo journey. We're going to tell you why we are here. Just to remind you as to what the program is all about. We're going to take you through APC. So the 9 candidates that have been part of a professional program, it will be quite a nice refresher. But the 17 of us, it will be quite entertaining to know what APC is all about. And then we're going to dive into our specific program, and then we will take a break round about 10 o'clock. We will be breaking, or have latest 10:30. So if you wanna, let's just say around 10:15, we will take a break for 30 minutes, and then we will come back. Okay, we'll come back at around 11:15, and then start unpacking some of the foundational concepts and applying them practically in a case study environment, and then that will be the end of my part of the session, and then we will get into the second part of the session where we deal with the wellness support. Okay, so those are well, that's the agenda for this morning. Bevan?
Sorry for it to keep on disturbing, but I just see there's some of them.
No,
There's a message here that says some people in this chat are outside of your org. It's possible they have message-related policies that will apply to this chat. I don't know if there's a technical person in the group that can assist. Maybe that's the reason why I can't see the chat.
The chat. Okay. And Damurero, are you able to assist with that? If you can hear me. Damurero?
Good morning. Yes, I will assist.
Sorry, Damurero, we're hearing you twice, I think, or it's something. So you say you will be able to assist?
Yes, I'm assisting Bevan.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you for it.
Cool. Thank you. Great. Okay, so let's go straight into it. Yeah, I guess from myself as the academic head of the program, I welcome you guys to Indunamo, to your EPC, Indunamo professional course, specifically the APC comprehensive course and the foundation phase. Okay, individuals that will be responsible for your development from a professional team perspective. You've got myself leading from an academic side, and then you've got Erewani Mutero leading from an operations and execution phase. So between myself and Ererwani, we are responsible for ensuring delivery of the program. So my side, from an academic side, so if there is anything academic in nature that you would like to question, or you've got to clarify, you reach out to me. And Ere's responsibility is making sure that all the promises that my team and I make to you gets delivered. Okay, so she runs the engine behind the delivery of the program, whereas I run the technical elements of the program. Okay, and then we are supported by a large team with various heads. So the people that you see at the bottom are the heads of various disciplines, but they are also supported by other professional team members. So leading from an accounting, math, strategy, risk management is Rendani Mutero. Most of you guys will know Rendani. He's our CEO. And then from math and strategy risk management also, we've got Dr. Elton Pullen, so working alongside Rendani in terms of leading math and strategy risk management. Then with Rendani in accounting, leading the accounting is Asan Malola. Asan leads the accounting and the tax. He's an IFRS expert on an international level. So IFRS is one of his passion. We call him a walking IFRS himself. And then from a tax, we've got Madodonke Mpecho, so leading the tax team. And then myself, from an academic delivery point of view, I support Madodonke in the tax, in leading the tax, and I also lead the auditing section. So I lead auditing and then support Madodonke in tax. So these are the individuals that will be responsible for your development. And like I said, supported by various other professional team members. Then from a caretaking perspective, you would have met this team on Thursday, for those that have joined the session on Thursday. And for those that could not join the session on Thursday, there is a recording that is available that you can access, but the team would have taken you through a caretaking team led by our chief caretaker, Zelia, and would have taken you through some of the engagement platforms that we use. So like I said, if you have not or you've missed that session on Thursday, please make sure you access it, because it will be very, very important for you to know exactly what is expected of you and how to navigate through our platforms, how to use the support from the caretaking team as well. So yes, this is our caretaking team that you guys would have met on Thursday. All right. Any question maybe before then I move into why are we here? Any question? All right, perfect. Let's keep moving. So, and this is where we're going to spend a bit of time unpacking why we are here. And we are here because most of us wants to be chartered accountants, CAs, okay? We want to be CAs. So what is a chartered accountant, okay? Well, this is the slide that unpacks what a chartered accountant is. And I always start here to remind everyone that the reason you guys decided to join this program, And the reason why you guys decided to wake up so early in the morning and 8 o'clock be in a session on the 18th of January, so early in the year, is because you want to invest in yourself. It's investing in yourself as a human capital. The reason is because you want to be a chartered accountant. But let me remind you what a chartered accountant is, or what are the benefits of being a chartered accountant. A CA is a well sought after premier business designation. For those that have forgotten, is the most sought after premier business designation. So a lot of people are chasing after this dream of being chartered accountants. The reason being, once you are a CA, you are respected, you will be high performing, you will be a forward thinking professional, which is creating long-term value. You will be so important, meaning to the extent that you will be high performing and respected, and you will not be just thinking about current and past, but more about forward. You will be thinking forward. You will have a global mindset. You will be having a strategic mindset to say, yes, we're doing things this way, but what are the disruptors that will change things in the future? And we need to be ready in our organization that you will be leading to make sure that you deliver in that future ready environment. That's why it's a well sought after premier designation. It's a globally recognized professional. You may be anywhere in Southern Africa, in the world. This designation is well known, okay? Especially international, on an international scale. This is a well-recognized profession. For those that remember 2024, SAICA was recognized as #1 in the globe, as the #1 designation. So the designation offers career mobility because you can go anywhere in the world and you will be known what your capabilities and capacities are. It will open doors to a wide range of career opportunities. So that's why you guys are here. Guys, it gives you a versatile skill set for today and the future, meaning diverse and spans across public and private sectors, as well as various industries. So you could be put in any of those sectors, public or private, or in any industry. You will be having the capacity and capabilities to adapt so well that you will do brilliantly well in those sectors or industries. And then my favorite piece is that the designation will be an affirmation that you are ready to be a responsible leader in business. That's quite something. That's quite profound, guys. You're not just a leader in business, but you're a responsible one. And this morning we're going to unpack, what do you mean you are a responsible leader in business? It's because you will be able to exercise good judgment, make the best decision, not for yourself, but the best decision for the public. Okay? You will work on acts of impropriety. So if you see something wrong, you are not going to turn a blind eye and look the other way and say, this doesn't impact me. No, you will call it out and say, this is wrong. You will say, this is wrong. And you will question why it's being done. You will act to safeguard the public interest. Okay, so your personal interest will be secondary to the primary interest that you will be looking after is the interest of the public. And then you will do this with rigor and the most level of integrity. And that's what will get you to be a responsible leader in business. And that's what is expected of chartered accountants. Guys, you can tell this is quite a significant responsibility, don't you think?
Yes, very.
Don't you think this is a very significant responsibility? Go for it. Unmute Atara and talk to me.
Good morning, Fedi. Good morning,
Good
team.
morning.
Yeah, I think it's quite a significant and yeah, heavy responsibility. But we're ready for it.
But I wanted to hear that. You're ready for it?
Yeah.
Atari. Is it? How ready are you though?
Very ready, Fedi, especially
Okay, you don't
after
want to give it another 3 years, getting yourself ready and maturing. You think you are ready to journey this and become a responsible leader in business right now. From right now, you're ready to journey to become one.
yes.
By February
Yes.
next year.
Yes, Fedi.
Okay.
I think there has to be a beginning at some point. You have to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm happy to hear that, Atara. Even after all these things that I've said, you still feel energized and ready to roll with the punches and make sure that you are a responsible leader in business. Linda?
Morning, Fedi.
Morning.
Point four, we are living in South Africa. You know, the ground is very, very corrupt. And then the threats that goes with being a responsible leader in business. And so it becomes really difficult sometimes to deal with this issue, integrity. I'm thinking of whistle blowing, thinking of Pavita, thinking of people who are even auditors and public sector. They are being threatened and all of that. And in reality, the professionals sometimes they are left to wander without any support. You call Psycha, you want some support, you want to be anonymous. Those people are not helpful sometimes. So I'm just thinking with the challenges that it goes with. So it's sometimes not doable.
And maybe let's use it's tough. Yeah. Maybe not doable, because absolutely I agree with you. The challenges that you've outlined, because we've got candidates in South Africa, we've got candidates in Zimbabwe, in Namibia, in Eswatini. Some are belonging or going to belong to those institutes, 4 institutes, but they're sitting as far as Australia, UK, etc. And the operating environment is quite challenging, absolutely. There is corruption. That's why there are some anti-corruption and terrorism laws. There are some codes of governance, etc., that are trying to address those improper acts of impropriety. But they're not foolproof in the sense that it's not enough, and we as chartered accountants need to do more. Absolutely, Linda. Those challenging environments that are challenging us to really be responsible leaders in business, and that's what we need to embrace and really work on those challenges to make sure that we are the one that comes out successful in combating those criminal activities or those corrupt activities. So I guess it's programs like this, it's your training officers as well that are going to impart you with knowledge as to how to be resilient and how to work on ensuring that you work on those acts of impropriety and you don't look the other way. Even when the going gets tough, you have to be maintaining the utmost level of integrity. Thanks, Linda, for raising that challenge that we are living with, because it cannot be ignored as well. All right, so guys, are you ready? Like, how are you feeling now? Are you all ready? Because if you're not ready and you're like, I need 2-3 more years to mature before I can take on this kind of a responsibility, either in February next year when I qualify, or end of 2026 for those that are still in their second year of training contracts that will still sit for 2025 APC past February, but still have to complete their training contract. If you're saying, I'm not ready for this, I think this is the right time where you can exit the session and say, Fedi, I'll see you in a couple of years' time. Or you just put it in the chat box and tell me, guys, how are you feeling? Are you energized? Are you ready to become this chartered accountant's SAZ, as in CAZ or CAN, etc. and etc. How are you feeling? Okay, and are you ready to put in the work? Because it requires quite a significant amount of work that we'll be putting through in this year. I'm not seeing messages coming in. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Agnes. Oh, nice to see you. Ready, Agnes, CASA. I love that. Gracious, I'm ready. Love that. Okay, I'm not seeing, I want every single one of you guys to put it into the chat box in terms of how you are feeling. Okay, Helen, been ready for years. Helen, this year we're gonna make it count the most, and absolutely, it's the final year. Singisa, forever ready. Okay, Tanya, I'm ready. Ramofilwe, Linda, okay. Amos, thank you for the reminder on the potential benefits and the responsibility. Absolutely. Nyanyana, I'm ready. I'm glad to hear that, Nyanyana. Monica, ready. Gertrude, ready. Rebecca, Nigel, and Tara, ready like never before. Guys, I'm super happy and I'm energized that you guys are ready. And I'm going to hold you accountable. I mean, if you haven't heard from the previous candidates, I really do hold you accountable to make sure that when we sit for that SAICA, ICAS, or ICAN assessment, we are fully ready, and we will just, it will be a walk in the park for us because we've started so early as the 16th of January 2025. Thank you, Lwazi, Linda, and then Sihlali, looking forward to the journey. Absolutely. Same here. Right. Just to remind you guys, chartered accountants are professionals who, having completed a rigorous qualification progress, having completed the required level of education, extensive training, professional and assessment programs, and being eligible to register as members of the SAICA, ICAS, ICAN in order to use the CASA or CAZ, CAN designation, fill a diverse range of roles in the economy. Guys, this is also important. So, it's so important that then we talk about the diverse environment that we are coming from. Different, all of us are different from diverse level of educational background, training, experience, etc. So what are we talking about here? Here we're saying at this level, you guys have the highest level of education, all of you. You possess the highest level of education. You've got degrees, postgraduate degrees as well, okay? You've completed your academic programs at your academic institutions, so universities, okay? most of you have completed or are currently completing extensive training with your training officers, which is quite important as well. And you are building towards having substantial experience. And then you are now here and you are looking forward to an ongoing professional development from us. An ongoing professional development from us. And we are willing to impart that professional development to you guys. So you guys may be sitting there. You may be having done your academic program at an university. You may have done the traditional route of PSYCA, okay? You may have done the PSYCA route, the ITC route, or IAC, I think that's what they call it now. And you may have done that, and you are now ready to write APC, but you want the ongoing professional development from EPC, so that you are able to sit for the PSYCA or ICAS or ICAN final APC assessment. Or you may have come from a CIMA background, okay? You might have come from a CIMA background, so you did your high level of education at university. You might have written a number of courses from a CIMA point of view, all the way to the strategy paper, and you might have had some substantial level of experience. And as well, then you are here looking for ongoing professional development. Absolutely. Do you see how diverse? Or ACCA. Okay, you may be coming from ACCA kind of a background. So, but we are all here. And all what we're looking for is an ongoing professional development and so that we become chartered accountants. So I'm going to ask you again to like the one that you are, is your background. So I'm going to say, which background are you from? Okay, then you're going to like ICAS, sorry, not ICAS, what am I saying? ITC or IAC. Linda, you can ask the question whilst I'm typing.
Sorry, Fadi, I'm not sure whether it's me. Your sound is fluctuating. Or maybe I need to change my laptop.
Okay, guys, can you confirm?
It's fine on my side.
Sometimes
It's fine on my side.
vanish a bit.
It's also fine.
Okay.
I'm fine on my side.
So someone said sometimes it does. What? Can you
It
say
does
that
like
again?
vanish a bit. It's like you're talking from far a bit. I don't know if you're using a speaker.
No, I'm looking right in my laptop, but I'll be closer to the laptop. Thanks, Linda, and everyone for highlighting that. So are you from ITC, Initial Assessment of Competence background, or CIMA background? Oh, no, don't type, Helen. I'm typing so that then you guys can like. Or then the other one is AWCA. Okay, all right. Great, great. I'm seeing numbers going up. Okay, right. Whilst you guys are typing, I'm going to move to the next slide. Okay, CIMA seems to be leading so far, which is quite interesting and which is quite nice to see a lot of CIMA candidates here, because this foundation phase is where we build technical skills to make sure that by March we are ready to roll with everyone who's coming from the ITC IAC background. But the ITC IAC candidates as well, you are at the right place as well, because you're going to redevelop those technical and make sure that you are as technical as you used to be. Okay. And 3 AWCA. I think it's the first time we've got so many AWCA as well, which is quite encouraging. Okay, right. So guys, let's talk about your responsible leader in business. So chartered accountants can be described as responsible leaders who behave ethically and who create sustainable value for a wide range of stakeholders. So you guys must be doing this for a very wide range of stakeholders by actively participating in organizations within various competencies processes. Okay, something has happened to my slides. They don't know. Let me just have a look as to why it's doing that. There we go. Okay, I'll have to sort it out. But something seems to be has shaded or written on top of. Okay, I'll sort it out during the break. What am I doing? Share. Okay. Cheza, you've got a question. I have a question. Once you see, will it matter which route you used? Do employers prefer the traditional ITC route to rest? Absolutely not. We're not even going to distinguish. Generally, they don't distinguish, because you will just indicate that you're a chartered accountant and outline your experience. But it's not like they distinguish between the traditional route or any other route. So rest assured, you will not be discriminated if you're from any other route. Okay, so we spoke earlier about the fact that we need to be ethical, okay? And then we need to be futuristic, strategic, and this is to create sustainable value for a wide range of stakeholders, okay? So this responsible leaders implies that as a CA, you should always display professional values and attitudes, have the full range of technical competencies of a professional accountant, and those enabling competencies to demonstrate responsible leadership qualities in a specific domain. Okay, so let me unpack that. And the way I unpack it is using the three bubbles in the middle of your slide. So if everyone could please at this moment look at the middle of the slide, all of you guys. So if you are busy juggling there between me and other responsibilities, just take a pause and look at the slide, please. Okay, so we've got three bubbles. Okay, I always start with the purple bubble, technical competencies. Technical competencies. That's the purple bubble. So they say for you to be a responsible leader in business, you must possess the technical competencies. You must have the full range of technical competencies. What technical competencies are they talking about, guys? Just put it into the chat box. Just type whatever technical competencies you guys can think of for you to be a responsible leader in business, meaning for you to be a chartered accountant. What technical competencies are you guys thinking of? Quickly. People are talking about accounting, audit, tax, and math. Absolutely, Helen, you hit it on the nail. Atara, you're saying business acumen. That's actually not a technical competency, but it's an important competency which will put it somewhere else. Knowledge of IFRS, which is accounting ratios, absolutely. Agnes tax auditing strategy, absolutely. IFRS tax, absolutely. So guys, if we're talking about management, accounting and finance, accounting and financial reporting, assurance and auditing, we're talking tax. Those are your technical competencies, including strategy. Those are your technical competencies, guys. But then now let's go to the blue bubble at the top, that you should always display professional values and attitudes. You must always display professional values and attitudes. Okay, what are these professional values and attitudes? There are three of them. Anyone who's willing to open their mic and tell me what are the three professional values and attitudes that we must display as responsible leaders? Okay, Helen, you've given us one. Ethics, yeah, ethical leadership is one, but it's three of them. Anyone willing to open the mic and tell us what are three professional values and attitudes? Linda, you're still on ethics as well, like Helen? That is one. There are two more. Values. Integrity here that falls under ethics. So integrity is part of ethics. Tanya is saying financial management. Okay, so Tanya, you're still on the technical competencies, I'm assuming. Accounting, tax auditing, cost and management accounting. Remofido, you say sustainable thinking. Okay, you're getting close, but that's not how we define it. So if I were to define them, the professional values and attitudes, which we will unpack a lot more when we get to April with everyone else. We're talking about ethical leadership, guys. That's number one. Okay, so when we're talking professional values and attitudes, we're talking about ethical leadership as number one. Then number two, we're talking about long life learning. Long life learning. So your value must be, I want to always be learning. Okay, you must have the most level of curiosity. When a new IFRS has been issued, you must be like, oh my word, I can't go to bed tonight without understanding what this IFRS is all about. When you hear at a budget speech that the minister would like to propose some changes to tax law, you must be like, okay, I want to know why and what the impact will be. You know, when I hear that the ISA 600 for component reporting and auditing group companies has been revised, I want to know what are the revisions bringing. That is lifelong learning. When I hear that there is an issue at one of the state-owned entities, I want to pick up that article and want to understand exactly what are the issues that that state-owned entity is experiencing. That's lifelong learning. That's curiosity. Okay, so that is a value that for you to be a responsible leader in business you must possess. And the last one is citizenship. Citizenship can come from personal citizenship. It can come from professional citizenship. It can come from organizational citizenship. So to say, right, I strive to make an impact in the society that I live in. Me being a chartered accountant is not necessarily just for myself. Yes, I'm a secondary in this relationship, but the reason I'm doing it is for the people around me, because I will always look out for the public interest. So what am I doing in my own spare time to have a significant impact in the country or in the society that I live in? Or it doesn't have to be in your spare time, because that's a personal citizenship. But at work, what is our work doing? Professional citizenship. Our organizational citizenship. What are we doing as an organization to have a significant contribution to the community? Those are the values that chartered accountants need to possess or to display at all times. Then, lastly, we've got enabling competencies. The enabling competencies is the green bubble. And can you guys maybe then just now, I wonder if my device is lagged, because I'm still seeing the old technical competencies from Amos Ifris. Let me just check something this side. But in the meantime, guys, give me your enabling competencies. What do you think as enabling competencies? What do you guys think as enabling competencies? Or you can open the mic. See it here. Okay, no, I'm not lagged on the other side. Okay, I thought I was lagged, but I can see both sides. Messages are coming at the same rate. Okay, let me go back. Okay, so enabling competencies. I'm going to pick up the ones that I like. And Bevan, I'm going to take your hand just shortly. Decision making, good judgment and decision making. Absolutely, that is an enabling competency of chartered accountants. Effective communication, business writing, absolutely, that's another one. Communication. There was one that was mentioned earlier on, I can't remember by who, business acumen. Being able to adapt to different types of businesses and having that business acumen is an important one. Leadership skills, I see it's just come through from Linda, absolutely. You need to possess leadership skills, and we're going to test you guys on that when we get to the assessment phase and you guys start working in teams or groups, because you guys need to possess leadership skills there. Critical thinking, absolutely. It's an important enabling competencies. Again, Bevan, what else did you want to add?
And no, I was covered. Thank you. I was going to say communication, but I see it was covered in the group. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fantastic. Cool. So you see, as I see, a professional competence therefore extends beyond specific accounting technical expertise. It includes development of competencies that include those attributable to responsible leaders and sustainable value creation. So basically, guys, we say as chartered accountants, you need to possess the technical competencies. So you need to be good in your IFRS, your tax legislation, your math, strategy, risk management and governance, and your audit and assurance. You need to have that. And that we will cover it and make sure that we rebuild all those technical competencies up until the end of March. So the purpose of the foundation phase is to make sure we are back to being strong in our technical competencies. Then we get to end of March when we kick off the development phase of the program. And in the development phase of the program, we will develop your professional values and attitudes and your enabling competencies. So the blue bubble and the green bubble. So the critical thinking, we're going to go through business writing workshops. We're going to go through professional values and attitudes, etc., to develop those, because we need those. And then we're going to demonstrate all these competencies, the blue, the green, and the purple, in our demonstration phase of the program. And then we're going to integrate all of them. So if you see the middle triangle, that's the integrated thinking to say, guys, now let's integrate everything. Let's integrate all competencies, because for you to be a responsible business leader, it's not like you think about these things in isolation. When you're in that boardroom and you're being asked to make a decision, you need to have your technical hat on. You need to have all your professional competencies, your enabling competencies and professional values to execute on the decision or to make the decision. You can't be like, let me apply my IFRS only. My decision will be this way based on IFRS, and ignore ethics, ignore business acumen, etc. No, you need to integrate them. And our case studies, and we're going to talk about case studies shortly, takes a view of the fact that all these things, all these competencies, the professional values and attitudes, the enabling competencies and technical competencies, are going to be assessed at the same time in an integrated fashion, because CAs integrate this professional competencies at all times. Questions? Helen, go for it.
Okay, thank you, Fedi. I just want to understand. I think you'll just help me if maybe I'm getting it wrong. Historically, the qualification, I think, based on my observation, it has actually focused more on the technical competencies rather than the business acumen, especially if you were to look at like your old CAs, those ones who qualify is like in the early 2000s. But I see, especially with the psych examination model, where they've actually introduced this integrated assessment. What triggered that? I don't know if maybe my observation is also right, but I feel like those OCAs, they were more focused on like IFRS, audit, standard this, but it's actually difficult for them to move towards like business, where they have to make that business decision. I think it's an area that they actually find it challenging.
And your observation is quite right, Helen. As in historically, the profession, in terms of saying, are you ready for entry into the profession? They focus a lot more on technical competencies. Take, for instance, someone as old as me, the old CAs. I hear that's what you call us, Helen. When we had to qualify, we had to write the ITC. It was actually not even called ITC. It was called Qualifying Examination Number 1, or Part 1 of the board courses, or of the board exams, QE1, Qualifying Examination Number 1. So it was very technical. And then we had to write the second exam, and you had the choice of writing Qualifying Examination Number Part 2, which was purely financial management, accounting, and maybe a little bit of strategy. Whereas most of us wrote the alternative, which was what we call PPE, Professional Practice Examination, which was purely auditing and governance assessment. So very technical. And once we passed that, we became chartered accountants. Okay. And then the profession had left it to the training programs, meaning our training officers, where we do the 3-year traineeship to work on our professional attributes. Okay. But SAICA, ICAS, or ICAN never assessed whether we are professionally competent, meaning do we have those values and attitudes and those enabling competencies? And then over the years, as we've got the scandals that the professional has been dealing with, then they realized that actually it's because we were not taking seriously these things by not assessing them, by leaving them to the training officers, and whether they are able to achieve them or not, it's a different question. But people are CAs, but they don't possess ethical leadership. People are CAs, but they cannot communicate very well because writing is not a core competency at university or at in one of the psych exams. And they started saying, okay, let's look at researching across the world. Some people went to Canada because the Canadians have a similar model as us, Australia, etc., to evaluate how do we incorporate this enabling competencies and professional values in our assessment of whether someone is ready for an entry into the profession or not ready for an entry into the profession. And we found then that's when they started aiding all this. And that's when, was it 9 years ago, when APC also was introduced, and at the training offices as well. We moved away from 35 competencies to 99 competencies. And then, I mean, it's been 10 years now. And then now we're going into the CA 2025, which actually also is a revision in terms of the model and adding more this professional values and enabling competencies. So that's quite a good observation. Thanks, Helen. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I think even with I think it's the ITC now, it's moved to I also think there's also more, there's actually more move into, Okay, no, thanks for the video.
Yes. Rendani actually knows a lot about what the new IAC entails, and the 3 papers and the third paper being a little bit more going the APC route already in IAC. So not just being technically focused. Linda?
Just to weigh in on that, I was raising a similar thing with Rendani to say we've seen with the changes that are happening in the profession that the old CAs like you are so resilient.
Linda, I'm not that old.
You are in our time, or maybe in our time, or before our time, or maybe after our time. But anyway, what we are saying, we've seen that the old CAs or the CAs of about mid or late 2000, they are so resilient and able to take what is coming in the industry. And then I know that the standards as well, technical standards, have been lowered. For instance, other things are being named as specialists now. You are not you are not tested on strong things like revaluations and all of that, of which in the olden days you were given everything. It was really tough. But now when guys are coming in the actual field, there are some challenges. They can't handle some other things, or being able to do work in the practical sense in the ground. I don't know whether it's an issue of training in auditing firms, or maybe the technology is changing. They are not able to get an end-to-end process, and then they get things ready, and then they kind of get confused somehow. But we are seeing that as well, and I think SAICA is, while it is changing, they are noting these things, trying to make changes and make the professional to be a better or what it was before.
Well-rounded. Sorry, Linda, you didn't finish just unmute. I think you got muted.
Oh, so I was saying they are trying to look at those and address those issues and make the profession better or what it was before. Yes.
Absolutely. And it's quite an interesting observation, Linda, without being biased as an old CA. But I hear your view as well to say, well, I guess the institutes, SAICA, ICAS, ICANN, they're sitting in a tough position because of a number of things. I guess the world is becoming more and more challenging, that this additional values, attitudes, and enabling competencies are becoming more and more important. And SAICA and all the other institutes have to incorporate them into the assessment to make sure that you are a well-rounded professional, not just a technically competent professional. But I sensed also from your observation, Linda, that there is also a concern around then the reduction in the level of technical competency that is expected as a result of adding on. Then things like hedge accounting are no longer being assessed. They considered a specialist, or let's say a new standard like IFRS 17 on insurance will not make it into the examinable pronouncements for ITC or ISC. So those kind of things, are they watering down the technical element of the profession? But I know when I used to be in academia full time or on the exams committee, coming up with that examinable pronouncements list was also challenging to say, I mean, how much can you fit in the 4-year program at university to make sure that the degree is technically strong, but at the same time, there's no, what we call it, syllabus overload. Because then in that case, then the candidates, instead of really absorbing that IFRS 10, they don't, because they've got the list of IFRSs have increased significantly. Whereas maybe you could say the old CAs like us, there were only 3 IFRS standards at the time. That's why we could learn it from beginning to the end. Yeah, well, in my time, maybe 15 of them, but before me, there were like maybe IS1 and conceptual framework, and maybe PPE standard. And there were no this financial instruments and all that kind of junk of standards. And that's why maybe they could incorporate it within the degree. And maybe another option is to increase, because the world has become so complex, then increase the number of years, have a 5-year degree. But that's a conversation for another day. Thanks, team. Thanks. Yeah, correct, Fedi. I see incorporate some of the professional values and attitudes which could have been reserved for APC. Great. All right. Assessment of professional competence, guys. Can I give you 5 minutes of leg stretch? We're still going to take our 30 minutes at 10:15. I want you guys to just go make a cup of coffee, and then you will come back before we start the assessment of professional competence. Thank you.